Okay, we're gonna have our lightning talks because we have not only one toolbox, but you've actually been using already multiple toolboxes. You've been using Unfold, you've been using UnfoldMakie and Unfold Sim, and we have a bunch of other ones, and we just want to briefly talk about them so you get an idea of how this ecosystem has been growing. And I'll start with UnfoldMakie. Vladimir wants to apologize. He cannot be here because he's on vacation, which is nice. But he made some slides, and he's the maintainer of the UnfoldMakie toolbox, which I have been using unknowingly because that's the one that allows you to do the stuff like plot ERP, etc. Right? So it is a package for rERP plotting, and it builds upon this Unfold, obviously, but also this really nice library, Makie.jl, which is an extremely high-performance plotting library. I tried them all in all languages, literally, and this one is the only one that doesn't crash for my kind of plots. And we are also building upon algebra of graphics, which is similar to ggplot, but it's like it's not the grammar of graphics, but it's the algebra of graphics, right? So it's one step a little bit removed, but it's quite nice. So why UnfoldMakie in the first place? Well, the regression modeling, these models, they can get very quickly very complex, and I think we need really good tools in order to understand them. So UnfoldMakie is fast. It has this grammar of graphics style mapping for some of the plots. It integrates nicely with Makie, so using multi-plots like you have in some of the papers, A, B, C, D, etc. We will create one. It's really good and usable, and all the plots are highly customizable. And this tool really it just does plotting, right? There's no other things to get distracted with. And you can also, of course, also use it outside of Unfold things. If you look, we recently had a survey on EG. Maybe some of you also participated in on EG visualization, so thanks for that. And we can still see that mostly people are using or are familiar with EG and EG Lab and Fieldtrip, and also we see that in the yearly citations. But yeah, I made some points earlier of why we moved from MATLAB. MATLAB is expensive. The plotting is not particularly fast, and you can also not really develop well. So yeah, I think there's a space for UnfoldMakie. Okay, let's just give us a brief tour through some of the features. Let's take a results data frame that you got as a curve table UF output, right? So this is something that you should be familiar slightly now. It has actually, I don't know, how large is it? But these are the columns that you have. So you have columns for coef name and maybe for standard error, for time, etc. And it's only 135 entries here. We had this plot ERP function already, right? You've seen it by default. It finds in results, it finds the coef name and puts it as color. It finds the estimate and puts it on the y-axis. So there are some convenience functions implemented already, but you could also make it explicit, right? So you could say, oh, I'm having the mapping. This is similar to ggplots that you put this, oh, I even forgot how it's called. But it's pretty clear, right? X is time, Y is estimate, color is coef name. So now sometimes you want to change stuff, like modify. The coef name is a terrible name for this, right? It's just a column that comes out of Unfold, and maybe you want to add, change the axis or so. And then there are simple ways you can do it. For the axis, you could specify that the X label should be whatever label you want. And for the coef name, you could just specify like this, oh, I want to rename this, right? Conveniently, other things are also easy to do. The standard arrow you can add, or if you have a data frame for a significance value from where to where, in which condition is something significant, it's easy to add such kind of bars to it. You can also do something that really the power of the grammar of graphics kind of idea. If you define a certain feature here, and if you assign it to a coef name, like color coef name, we have the different colors are for different coef names. You can also use line style, but you can also briefly change this. For instance, you want the column to be the different coef name, or the row, or I don't know, layouts. What else is there that you could put? And so you can very easily imagine that you can look at your data at your kind of this big space, model space, from very different angles and modulate very quickly of what you want to show on the different axes. So I think this is really helpful, and really I use it every time. I also mentioned that there's this nice layouting tool. So very often don't have only a single plot that you want to show, but you want to show multiple plots. So let's create a figure here, explicitly create a figure. And now we're using this mutating kind of thing. And we say at the first location, let's add this plot here. Okay, we already done that. Now we can do at the second column, we could add the second plot, right? So if I run this, now I have two plots here. And I can also say, oh, now let's add one more here that stretches over two columns. And well, clearly enough, this will look like something like this, where it will be the second row stretching over both columns. Let's just, it's the first time I'm running this. So you can see it like this. And then later I can say, oh, but I want to still modify this function, right? I want to modify this plot, and I can still, like in MATLAB, add new labels here. Oh, okay, this looks terrible now, but okay, doesn't matter. And the cool thing is you can even add stuff to the left or to the minus side of it. So this layouter automatically takes care of that. And maybe the final thing that I want to show, because I think in other languages it's always a pain to do, you want to add these labels here. In Julia, it's relatively easy because you get this kind of plot. So I put this into the subfigure, and then you say, oh, on top left, just add me a new label, right? And that's it. And you can give it whatever label. So doing this such kind of plot, it's just, yeah, much easier than in any other language. I'm going to skip it for time reason. You can modify a lot of stuff. Conclusions is it's customizable, it's fast, easy to use. If you want to help, if something is unclear or so, yeah, please contact us, read the documentation, and thanks a lot for Vladimir for making all of this possible.